Hi again, folks, and welcome to my show, Busey on OmBuseyMan. And this is when we take that little time out of your schedule to show you some of the nifty things, some of the most important things, some items that are really important when it comes to doing those repairs or replacements in and around your home. And today, for some reason, and I think really it's because of the onward part of our season is going to be moving closer into that wet season, and that is the fall season, or it could even be the spring season. The main thing, folks, we're talking about groundwater. Now, groundwater causes a lot of grief. Main thing is, if you've got a crawl space or a foundation, you got a full 8-foot foundation, you may even have a suite. You may even have put a suite in for a mortgage helper. And all those things being created today for the industry, especially for people that possibly first-time home buyers or someone that has moved and wanting to get into a basement suite for mom or dad or the kids downstairs, whatever the case may be. What we have to really relate to is that we do have around the home a foundation. Okay, foundation. Here's your wall, here's your footings, and here's the grade level up here. Okay, this is where your grass is, up here. Okay, and the home is built on top, and up you go from there, and down here you've got your concrete floor in the basement, and then you have all this dirt down here, and guess what? What's right there? That's your perimeter drainage. That's where the groundwater, when the groundwater starts coming up with wet ground, a lot of wet conditions. It may be a snow melt. It may be just a rainy season. It may be a spring underneath. It could be a spring underneath here, for an example. And that spring, when it is aggravated with a lot of groundwater, may activate, and you'll get water coming up, and it'll go under the footings and into the perimeter drainage and away. But what happens if you've got a lot of water up here coming down in the form of rain? It could even be a small creek or a river next door to you, and that groundwater is coming at your footings and your foundation wall. Well, Delta MS is a product that going back many years ago now, I was very much involved in introducing the product to the building industry with my TV program Home Check. You might have watched it back a few years ago. Well, I saved all those because those are educational bits and pieces now that I can use to show you actually how that sort of thing takes place, and explained by some very, very professional people as well when I have them associated with my show. And the Delta MS is a product that you'll see it being installed now on the outside of the foundation wall. And you'll identify it because it is brown in color, sometimes gray in color. But the main thing is that it has dimples on it. And dimples on it that really give that association with what we deal with, and that is to keep the membrane away from the wall of concrete, which is forming your footing and your foundation or your crawl space foundation wall. Now, the Delta MS, which you will see, and incidentally, I do have a video of this right at the end of this video interview that I'm doing right now for you. So don't leave it until you watch it as well. It's short and sweet and everything's neat. Okay, but the Delta MS, when the water comes up to it, it acts as just like a gutter on your roof and directs the water down and into the perimeter drains, and the perimeter drains take it away to the storm sewer. Now, back years ago, and even to this day, there are people that will use old membrane, maybe a rubber membrane, this peel and stick membrane, that type of thing. Some will even still use the old asphalt roll-on foundation coating, which only puts a coating on the concrete. The problem is if you ever get a crack in the concrete, then that roll-on sealer is not going to do a lot of good for you at all, nor even if it is a peel and stick membrane. But with the Delta MS, and there's many other products like this now, but call it drainage fabric, and it is plastic, and it does go over top of concrete, and it does direct water down to the perimeter drainage. Now, I'm not going to get into perimeter drainage and the servicing of perimeter drainage at this point, but I want you to be aware of one thing. If you're buying a home that is 20 years of age or older, then for goodness sakes, take my heads up. Make sure, if in doubt, don't pout. Let Shell help you out, because one of the things that you want to make sure of is that the drainage system is working properly. There is nothing in there blocking. There's no iron oxide in there that's blocking the run of water. There's no weeds in there. There's no leaves that have plugged up an area. And I mean leaves that come down your downpipe and into the perimeter drainage, which becomes now storage for water. You don't want to store it. You want it to run away. So you don't want to have to get into cleaning the perimeter drain. So when in doubt, always put in as a subject, for goodness sakes. And today it scares the dickens out of me when I hear people buying homes without any subjects of inspection or subjects to whatever, perimeter drainage being unobstructed, that sort of thing. Because I'll tell you right now, folks, if you do, you're looking at not only hundreds of dollars, could even be in the thousands of dollars. And you don't want to end up with that being a new homeowner, okay, or a first-time home buyer, that's for sure. So I won't get into that right now, but I will get into the perimeter membrane, Delta MS, on the outside of a foundation wall, because it is an excellent product. In fact, so many now cities, towns, villages, provinces dealing with the building code now have made it a rule and an actual building term, foundation membrane, and it could be any one of the brands that are indicated. Okay, so compulsory is what you will be faced with if you're building a new home today. So it's Delta MS, Delta Membrane System. Okay, and as I say, I'm going to show you a video right at the end of this presentation that you can watch it and you'll see it, and you'll see what I mean when you're out walking around looking at new homes being built in a subdivision, or possibly you're building your own home. This way you know what it's all about. Okay, that's what we like to deal with here on our OmBuseyMan, because helping you is helping me take care of you. Okay, so until next time, folks, please watch the video. But until next time, have a great one, won't you? Bye-bye for now.
Well, you can see now that we've got the entire wall covered up to the 7-foot level with the peel and stick rubber membrane protecting the ICF system. Now, this whole wall is giving an R value greater than R50. So we want to protect it against water penetration. And that's the way to do it, 100%. But you know, we're using basements for a lot more than just storage these days. We're using it for rec rooms and basements and computer rooms, all those neat rooms, but they're usable spaces. And in order to keep that area protected, we're going to go one step further. We're going to go beyond even the peel and stick, and we're going to talk to Rob from Basement Systems about that. How are you doing, Rob?
Good, Shell.
Great. Tell me about this MS system.
Well, this is called Delta MS. It's a high-density dimpled air gap product.
Now, dimpled, meaning that those are all the little dimples.
Yeah, these are all the little dimples. You can see the space in between the dimples. Concept behind this is that we're keeping the cold, moist soil from ever touching the foundation wall.
That way that there's air in behind them.
There can be air in behind, slight insulative value as well. What we're doing is we're keeping any pressure points from hydrostatic pressure, the buildup of water that may occur on the outside of a foundation wall, keeping that away from the actual wall itself.
Now, what about water, groundwater?
Groundwater can build up, you know, if we have a failure in the drain towel or just a lot of water in certain regions.
Like a flooded low plain, that sort of thing, and directing water to the perimeter drains, that sort of thing?
That's right.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that membranes like this can help keep the water away. Not only that, but they can help protect.
Well, I tell you, I've got a couple of pieces here. One's a rock, and the other one's a piece of concrete that's come off a form. And if that was backfilled, rolled in against that rubber membrane,
yeah,
Is the MS going to protect it against this?
The MS has a 5,200 pound per square foot compressive strength, and it will protect against items like this.
So not only are we taking a good, better system already, but we're adding to it and making it better.
That's right. So these people, whoever's moving in here, will have a nice dry area that they can be insured for years.
Rob, I want to thank you very much for coming out and giving us the full story on the Delta MS, because I'll tell you, it looks like the system to me.